The San Francisco 49ers enter this offseason in a fascinating position, balancing urgency with long-term sustainability after another deep run that ultimately fell short of a championship. This is a roster built to win now, but the front office understands that standing still in the NFL is the fastest way to fall behind. The message coming out of Indianapolis during the Combine was clear. The 49ers are targeting impact players who can keep this championship window wide open while also preparing for inevitable roster turnover. The focus begins in the trenches, where the team wants to find a disruptive interior pass rusher to pair with Nick Bosa. Opposing offenses have learned that neutralizing Bosa with double teams forces someone else to beat them, and too often that interior pressure has been inconsistent. That is why a player like John Franklin Myers has emerged as a logical target, someone capable of collapsing the pocket from the inside and freeing Bosa to do what he does best on the edge. At the same time, the front office is scanning the wide receiver market with equal intensity. This offense thrives on versatility, yards after catch, and spacing, but injuries and depth concerns exposed how thin the margin for error can be. Names like Romeo Dew and Jalen Nailor have surfaced as potential fits, receivers who bring speed, route discipline, and the ability to stretch defenses vertically. The 49ers system does not necessarily require a traditional number one receiver opposite their established stars, but it does demand players who can threaten defenses in multiple ways. Adding another weapon would not just be about production. It would be about preserving the creative flexibility that defines this offense and makes it one of the most difficult schemes in football to defend. Improving the pass rush is not just a free agency talking point. It was reinforced again when team leadership spoke at the Combine, emphasizing that generating pressure without relying on blitzing remains a top priority. The 49ers have built their defensive identity around overwhelming offensive lines with four-man rushes, allowing the secondary to play aggressively. Meeting with one of the most productive pass rushers in college football, who posted double-digit sacks in a major conference, signals that the team is exploring every avenue to restore that dominance. When this defense is at its best, quarterbacks feel pressure before routes even develop, forcing mistakes that swing games in January. Meanwhile, there is a subplot involving a familiar face who could soon become an opponent. Former quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo has been linked to a potential reunion with a coaching staff that knows him well in Arizona. If that move happens, it would create a fascinating scenario inside the division, where the 49ers could face a quarterback intimately familiar with their system, terminology, and tendencies. While Garoppolo's tenure in San Francisco was defined by near misses and injuries, he also helped guide the team to multiple deep playoff runs. Seeing him on the opposite sideline would be a reminder of how quickly the league reshuffles relationships and allegiances. The Combine also provided clues about how the 49ers might approach the draft, particularly at wide receiver. Several prospects delivered eye-opening performances that align perfectly with what this offense values. Players like Bryce Lance showcased elite athletic traits that translate to field-stretching ability, while others demonstrated explosiveness and versatility that could turn them into mid-round steals. The 49ers have built a reputation for finding contributors outside the first round, especially players who fit specific roles within their system. A receiver who can threaten defenses vertically, block in the run game, and contribute on special teams is often more valuable here than a pure statistical star from college. One of the most intriguing aspects of this evaluation process is how the team balances athletic testing with actual football skill. Speed alone does not guarantee success in this offense, which requires precise timing and spatial awareness. Prospects who showed not just speed but also suddenness, ball tracking ability, and willingness to block likely climbed the 49ers' internal board. This approach reflects a broader philosophy. They are not drafting for highlight reels. They are drafting for specific responsibilities within a complex offensive ecosystem. If you're enjoying this deep breakdown of the 49ers' offseason strategy, now is the perfect time to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because this is where you'll get film-level analysis, roster projections, and insider context you won't hear anywhere else. Not every headline has been about additions. Some involve opportunities that may slip away. The possibility of a blockbuster trade for elite pass rusher Max Crosby captured fans' imaginations, but reports suggest the 49ers are not among the frontrunners. That absence speaks volumes about the team's strategic discipline. Trading multiple premium picks for a veteran star can accelerate a championship push, but it can also compromise long-term depth. The front office appears determined to preserve draft capital, trusting its scouting department to find impact players on rookie contracts rather than chasing splashy moves that could limit flexibility down the road. Coaching changes also ripple through the organization in subtle but significant ways. With a key assistant departing to take on a larger role elsewhere, the 49ers are considering promoting from within, a move that underscores their commitment to continuity. Elevating a coach already familiar with the system, the players, and the culture minimizes disruption and maintains the philosophical consistency that has defined this era. It also highlights how much the organization values internal development, not just for players, but for staff as well. At linebacker, the season exposed just how dependent the defense is on Fred Warner. His injury forced others into roles they were not fully prepared to handle, and the results were immediate. Opposing offenses attacked the middle of the field with a confidence rarely seen in previous years, exploiting coverage gaps and communication breakdowns. The emergence of D. Winters as a reliable contributor offered hope, but the position remains a question mark beyond Warner. Whether through the draft, free agency, or internal development, finding a long-term partner next to him is essential if the defense is to return to its dominant form. Roster decisions at defensive tackle further illustrate the constant balancing act between youth and experience. Allowing a former draft pick to reach unrestricted free agency signals confidence in younger players already on the roster, while also creating space for a different skill set. The coaching staff appears to want more interior pass rush ability to complement run-stuffing linemen, reinforcing the offseason theme of generating pressure from all angles. Potential veteran additions or draft selections could reshape the rotation and give the defense a more dynamic profile. All of these moves, rumors, and evaluations point toward a single objective: sustaining a championship-level roster in a league designed for parity. The 49ers are not rebuilding. They are recalibrating, fine-tuning a machine that has come agonizingly close to the ultimate prize. Every decision, from scouting mid-round receivers to targeting interior linemen, reflects lessons learned from the past season's shortcomings. As the offseason unfolds, the true measure of success will not be the headlines, but how these pieces fit together once the games begin. The 49ers have built a culture that expects to compete for a Super Bowl every year, and anything less feels like unfinished business. If they execute this offseason the way they intend, this roster could return stronger, deeper, and more resilient than before. If you want continued coverage of every move, every signing, and every draft pick shaping the 49ers' path back to the Super Bowl, make sure you subscribe now and stay locked in, because this journey is just getting started.